Good afternoon, all. Welcome to another episode of Sam's Corner. And today we're going to talk about credit cards. Now, no one really likes to talk about credit cards because let's be real. Most of us have 2, 3, 5, 7. Some with the same provider. We may have one for Best Buy. We may have one for Macy's, any department store, whatever, etc. So a lot of us have multiple cards. In all honesty, some of us are kind of ashamed of them because we have really large balances, or we're so ashamed that we don't want to know the balances. But today we're not going to get into all of that because you know what? That shame is self-inflicted. And what we're not going to do is hold ourselves down or beat ourselves up about the decisions that we've made. What we're doing, and the whole reason behind my series on finance is just that moving forward, we all need to learn to make better decisions. So with that being said, let's get into it. Credit cards. Credit cards are short-term loans. That's why you notice the interest rate is higher. And because of this, unfortunately, interest rates, they're high, period. Because it's a short-term loan. So, for mortgages, you may see 3%, you may see 5%, you may even see 7%, because again, that's a long-term loan. But for credit cards, it's short-term. So you can see anywhere from 10%, maybe 15%, even 20%. I've seen some as high as 35% and 40%. Here's the thing. The reason they can do it, because like I said, it's a short-term loan. Credit cards are supposed to only be used for emergencies and for short-term purchases. Credit cards are not, let me repeat, not supposed to be used for everyday purchases. Now, sometimes I know things happen, emergencies come up, there are things sometimes you just kind of have to do, and I get that because there are two schools of thought as far as credit cards. There are those who say, I'm not going to use credit cards. Credit cards are the devil. They're bad. They're evil, blah, 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 and I'm not going to use them. Then there are other people who do use them and say I use them for emergencies or whatever else. Here's the thing. My personal point of view is that it's up to you. If you feel you can handle the use of a credit card or two, then that's fine. But if you know that you cannot, then you shouldn't be using credit cards until you're able to create the mindset that would allow you to utilize the credit card effectively. Now, for me, I personally believe in the use of a credit card for emergencies only. And I do feel that if you're traveling, it's good to have a credit card just in case the unforeseen or anything happens. Because sometimes in life we just don't know. So that's my personal view. I'm not against credit cards. What I am a proponent for is utilizing credit cards effectively. So with that being said, let me tell you an example of what someone did, and I believe is a great example of how to utilize a credit card effectively. Now, him, his wife, and kids, they love to travel, so every year they go somewhere, family vacation. What he said he did, which I liked, is that he said he put basically all of his expenses on the credit card. Now, I probably wouldn't do all. I would say because sometimes utilities, things happen and you can get overcharged. But most of your standard things, sure, why not? He said what he would do is all the new charges would come onto the credit card. At the end of the month, he would pay it off. And what he did with his credit card gave him mileage points. So he would accumulate those points and then use them for travel with his family, which I think makes sense. If you're going to have a credit card, at least let it work for you. Some people like those benefits. Some people like cash back. There's so many different credit cards out here. Pick one that works best for you and suits you. So with that being said, I'm a proponent for credit cards, but I'm a proponent for using it effectively. Some people don't feel that way, and that's fine. You just have to use it to the best of your, not to the best, you need to use the credit card effectively and efficiently so that it benefits you. Because again, remember, it's a short-term loan. So that's where the APR comes in, and that's the annual percentage rate. So remember, you're paying interest on a loan. Every time you swipe that card, always keep in mind that it's a loan and ask yourself, as a rule of thumb, can what I'm about to swipe, can I pay it off in 30 or 90 days? And I give that time frame because sometimes purchases come up and they're smaller and you can within 30 days pay it back, and sometimes things are a little bit larger and maybe 90 days. My thing is, as long as you keep a mindset of that it's a short-term loan, I'm using it for emergencies only, you will utilize your credit card efficiently. Now remember, it's a short-term loan. And if you charge something and you pay it off within 30 days, you're not paying any interest on it. But the problem is, we all have these revolving balances. And that's not beneficial for us, because basically we become income for the credit card companies, which is not good, because in the long run, all that money that you're paying in interest, by the time you've paid it off, you may have paid the credit card 2 or 3 times back over with interest payments, and that's not something you want to do. Also, credit cards offer you cash advances, but also that's another different rate. So be mindful of that. So my advice to you is, when you get your statement or you log in online, look at the second page of your statement. Look at what is your rate, what are the finance charges associated with cash withdrawals, and also look, it is very important to know, how is your payment applied? Is your payment applied to the purchases with the highest interest rate? Is it applied to the lower? All of those things are important to know, because remember, you're the consumer. You're the one that makes the choice to use the card. So if you're going to use it, you need to use it effectively. Excuse me. So a lot of people will say, well, I have a credit card, or I have several. How many cards should I have? And I've heard that question come up. My thing is, really, you should really only have one card. One card. You shouldn't have several. That's my opinion. And here's why. Each card will offer a different rate, may offer different benefits, etc. But here's the thing. You don't want your credit card debt to slowly creep up on you. And having multiple cards that you're not paying off every month is not going to do you any world of good. Your main goal is to have as much disposable income as you can. You do not want to obligate yourself to multiple cards. That doesn't help you in the long run, and it prevents you from operating with cash. I mean, I know some people, they're like, I don't like swiping my debit card. I don't trust it. You know, people can do it. People take advantage. And I totally get that. So some people are like, I want to use my credit card. Well, if you want to use it, that's fine. But then since you have the money in your account, you want to always make sure that you're paying the balances off as soon as possible. And if you have multiple cards, I encourage you to create your plan of how to get those balances down. What you can do sometimes is transfer them to a credit card with, a lower interest rate, or one with no interest rate. And sometimes that's good if you have a lot of debt and you're trying to pay it off in a certain amount of time. The great thing is 100% of your payment is going to paying off the principal, and that's what you want. So again, just to kind of sum it all up, credit cards are a personal choice. If you don't choose to use them, that's fine. You don't have to. But for those of us who do, you need to create a mindset for yourself that it's for emergencies only. And you have to kind of make that your mantra. You kind of have to say it every day. You have to create the framework that I am only going to use this for emergencies. Because if you do not, what's going to happen is you're making payments, but then you continue charging. And what you're doing every time you do that, you are basically eroding any payment that would go against the principal. And if you're doing it too much, before you know it, you'll have a balance that's out of control, and it'll be harder for you to make payments. So that's my advice to you. Utilize credit cards effectively, use them efficiently. There are a lot of cards out here that offer benefits. If you're going to use a credit card, again, use one that works best for you. Remember, it's personal finance, and everything is encircled around and encompasses you. And you want to make sure that every vehicle that you use has a positive benefit for you. You don't want it to be a negative. So thank you all for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope I gave you some insight about looking at credit cards. Again, the whole focus of this series is you. Is getting yourself together financially. This series is not about anybody's right or wrong or judgment, because that's not why I'm here. I'm here to empower you, to let you know that you can make better choices with your money and that you can do it. Is there going to be some trial and error? Oh God, absolutely. No one always gets everything right the first time. Some people do just like that with the snap of a finger, and other people it takes time. But remember, if you're on a journey to get your finances together, remember it's a journey and it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in one day. But once you start building the framework necessary, you'll be able to take full advantage of the income that you earn. You'll be able to pay down your debts effectively because you have goals, and that's important. So thank you all for watching. I want everyone to have a great day, and just think about the cards that you have, and do they really work for you? And if they don't, then you need to do something about it. All right, everybody, I'll talk to you later. Have a good day. Be blessed. Bye-bye.